Hi, another update here for me on things I'm doing with current events and so forth. And this one involves an area I would love to get involved in many ways. And it's a very important issue, especially in California, with the issue of housing. And you get all these damn corporations that want to take over public land and build all these high-rise things for all these fat cat people that work at Facebook and so forth, and leave all the $15 an hour bums out on the street, and have no housing for them. And I'm going to try to talk to some organizations like this. Housing for All in Burlingame is one of them. One San Mateo is another. They have a meeting next Tuesday. I hope to attend at a church down there and get to them. But others of you that are interested in that kind of subject matter and rent control, by the way, and that subject, for anyone that believes in the original intent like I do, that's anathema. Or would be if we had the society we're supposed to have, free market, supply and demand. Nothing like that exists now, not even close. So that said, and I've sent letters to several local city councils discussing this issue and said you got the wrong perspective here. What you need to do is ask the corporation attorneys on their side, what rights do they have in their real estate? Since we live in a system where you and I, otherwise known as taxpayers, don't have a zero interest in our property in the form of our time and labor, and the 9 farts, aka the U.S. Supreme Court, has ruled that we can be taxed out of existence without even the need for an administrative hearing. Cases Enix v. Williams, 370 U.S. 1. Send me an email for information. I'll send you a courtesy copy. They actually said this. If you're a taxpayer, they own you. Might as well be a slave, which is in fact what you are. And yet we're the ones that created the Constitution, all government, and we did that to ensure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Does this situation with housing sound anything remotely related to that? I'll be damned if I can find it. But when you acquire my constitutional defense documents, very modestly priced, send me an email, unincourt@gmail.com. What you find out is there are no states. In short, what that means in this context is these corporate entities that think they own everything don't own a damn thing, because if they're registered at all, it's with a territorial secretary of state. We are domiciled in a judicial district in the state in which we are domiciled, not resident. There's a big difference in those two things. Domicile is your main place of interest and the place that you're going to be found at almost all times. You can have more than one residence. And note that the good old non-existent 14th War Amendment, what did that say? Section 1, all persons born in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state, small case, small letter S, of the state in which they reside, not in which they're domiciled. Corporations aren't domiciled. They reside. They have a residence. And we can challenge them and say, wait just a damn minute here. As a corporation, even if we had states, the best case situation for you bastards is that you're agents of our agents. And you serve our needs. That's the primary goal. That's the stated goal of most of your corporate papers that you file when you go into business. This is what we're here to do. We damn well want to make you do that for once. And we can do it with the right issues, the right courts, and the right strategy. And I'm ready to do that, especially in these kind of cases. And this also applies, by the way, not only just to rent control, but rent. And you find a month you can't come up with the rent, and a landlord wants to boot you out with the summary eviction. Well, they first have to establish a landlord-tenant relationship, and I don't think that can be done. It's just the way it is. With the mom and pop people, maybe, that have their own, that would be one thing. With corporate landlords, I don't think they can satisfy it at all, and we can make it very uncomfortable for them. Potentially better yet, for those of you that have mortgages, note the word mort, death gauge, and want to find a way out of it, I think I have that well in hand too, because when you sign the mortgage agreement, They didn't tell you all the terms of the contract, did they? They didn't tell you that we're going to loan you what the Federal Reserve Bank concedes in writing are undefined dollars. They didn't tell you that the Federal Reserve Bank thinks it can create money out of debt. And I got the then aptly named chairman of the Federal Reserve, Mariner S. Eccles, saying that in the congressional record for the committee, House Subcommittee on Banking and Finance. They can do that. Whoa, where did Congress get the power to delegate that authority, even if they have it, and they don't? So you start asking questions like this, and then they give you a 30-year mortgage, and they want to take all your property over the course of 30 years of the mortgage of your time and labor to pay them back for a mortgage that never existed from day one. Null and void, legally, nunc pro tunc ab initio. And I'm willing to take some cases on like that. I'll need a small monthly retainer to do that, but very much less than what you would pay an attorney if you can find one that either understood the issues or had enough backbone to present them. Because they're not going to do it. That goes against their best interest and it challenges the state bar. That's a loser. They're not going to do it. But you can. And I'm willing to take some cases like that on with all the documents I have and what we can put together now. We may get some astounding results, and there's very little to lose. The good news is the risk versus gain is very high for them. Because we get one case like this decided in a court of record, especially the 904s. It's good from coast to coast. Portland, Maine, Portland, Oregon. We put them out of business in one fell swoop. And I think we can do it. I'm maybe naive enough to think we can do it. I realize there's a lot of corruption out there. I get it. I've been subjected to it personally in my South Carolina case for 7 months. But I walked away from that. And that's the case they wanted to get me because I was practicing law without a license and threatening to break up their state bar monopoly on the practice of law. But like I told the judge in that case in the first 30 seconds of my initial appearance, I don't practice law. Get it right the first time. And they finally figured out if I get in front of a jury, that's going to be the consequence. They can't beat me. And they can't beat you either if we work together. I'm convinced of it. That I've never lost anything on the merits. Now in my 5th decade here. Doesn't mean there's not a lot of hard work to do. I mean, eternal vigilance is the price of liberty. You're going to have some work to do at your end. But not the 10,000 hours that I put in the law libraries. I was kind of a slow learner. Took me a while to get it. But I finally did. When I had that epiphany about the big lie and no states, everything started to fall together. And that will happen with you and a lot quicker. Get my documents, study them, and I'll tell you exactly which ones to study. And you're going to find out right away it's not me saying it. Or as I'm so rudely told at times by judges and attorneys, my interpretation of the law. That's when you know they're really in trouble. If that's all they have in the way of an answer, they're saying, we don't know the law, we don't care, and nothing you can do about it. That's what we want to change. We start sending some of these bastards to jail and collecting big judgments. That changes the way they do business. That's the real goal of my efforts. So yeah, I'm going to collect some nice fees along the way, I get that. But I will have earned them, unlike attorneys. But the real deal here is to make changes that will resonate in front of a jury. I will be very credible there, which is why I'm probably never going to see one. They sit down at the settlement desk, get the checkbooks out, get it over with. So that's where I'm headed. If you want some more information about that, send me an email at youwinnincourt@gmail.com and we can discuss it. Meanwhile, like my videos, subscribe, tell your friends, and thank you very much again.